Alan Alda is not merely a name in the world of television. He is a monumental figure who transformed the landscape of storytelling. Best known for his portrayal of Captain Benjamin Franklin, Hawkeye Pierce in the iconic series MASH, Alda's journey is a tapestry woven with humor, resilience, and profound insight into the human condition. But behind the laughter and charm of Hawkeye lies a story of struggles, triumphs, and a relentless pursuit of authenticity in a world often marred by conflict. What secrets did Alda carry throughout his career, and how did they shape the man we admire today? Join me as we delve into the life of Alan Alda, exploring his early years, his groundbreaking role in MASH, and the lasting legacy he has created. Born on January 28, 1936, in New York City, Alan Alda, originally named Alfonso Joseph d'Abruzzo, was destined for a life deeply intertwined with the arts. His father, Robert Alda, was a successful actor and singer who had made a name for himself in film and Broadway, while his mother, Joan Brown, was a former beauty pageant winner. Growing up in a household where show business was a way of life, Alda was exposed to the stage and screen from an early age. His father's career took the family on the road frequently, immersing young Alan in the world of performance, scripts, and the magic of storytelling. However, this glamorous upbringing came with its own set of challenges, shaping Alda's character in profound ways. Despite the allure of Hollywood, Alda's early years were marked by hardship. At just 7 years old, he was diagnosed with polio, a disease that, at the time, had no cure and often left children with severe disabilities. The treatment was grueling. Every hour, his limbs had to be wrapped in hot woolen blankets to stimulate muscle function. Since his parents couldn't afford professional medical care, they took it upon themselves to perform these painful treatments at home. This experience left a lasting impression on Alda, teaching him resilience and fortitude from a young age. He learned the value of perseverance, a trait that would define his personal and professional journey. In addition to his own struggles, Alda's home life was complicated by his mother's battles with mental illness. Joan Brown suffered from severe mental health issues, which often led to erratic behavior and emotional instability. As a child, Alda learned to read the moods of those around him, a skill that later became invaluable in his acting career. He became highly attuned to human emotions, able to sense shifts in tone and expression, an ability that would later allow him to deliver nuanced, deeply empathetic performances on screen. Though his childhood was turbulent, Alda's exposure to storytelling and performance remained a constant source of inspiration. His father's work provided a first-hand education in the art of acting, and young Alda often observed rehearsals, memorized lines, and learned the rhythm of dialogue. By the time he was a teenager, he knew he wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. His education also played a crucial role in shaping his future. Alda attended Archbishop Stepinac High School in White Plains, New York, where he honed his writing and performance skills. He later enrolled at Fordham University, where he pursued a degree in English. While at Fordham, he developed a love for improvisation and comedy, performing in student productions and refining his craft. During his junior year, he even studied abroad in Paris, expanding his artistic influences and deepening his appreciation for global storytelling traditions. It was also during his college years that Alda began to embrace the idea of acting not just as a career, but as a calling. He saw it as a way to bridge human experiences, to make people laugh, cry, and reflect. His early hardships had given him a deep well of emotions to draw from, and he was eager to bring authenticity to his performances. After graduating in 1956, Alda took his first steps into the professional acting world, starting with small theater roles before making his way onto television and film. His childhood experiences, battling illness, navigating a complex family life, and absorbing the art of performance from his father, had given him a unique perspective. He understood both the power of storytelling and the fragility of human emotions, qualities that would make him one of the most beloved actors of his generation. Determined to carve his own path while still honoring his roots, Alda made a pivotal decision to change his name. He combined the first two letters of his father's first name, Alonso, with the first two letters of his mother's maiden name, Brown, creating the stage name Alan Alda. This new identity symbolized both his independence and his deep connection to his family, a balance he would strive to maintain throughout his life. It was a declaration that, while he was the son of a famous actor, he was determined to build his own legacy in the entertainment industry. Alda's journey into acting truly began when he enrolled at Fordham University, where he immersed himself in both academics and performance. While studying English, he also dedicated himself to developing his craft, seizing every opportunity to act. One of his earliest experiences was working at WFUV, the university's radio station, where he performed in radio plays. This unique training forced him to convey emotion and character using only his voice, an invaluable skill that later translated into his ability to command attention on screen and stage. College, however, wasn't just about classroom learning or acting in local productions. Alda's thirst for experience took him beyond the borders of the United States. During his junior year, he participated in an international study program that allowed him to study in Paris and act in Rome. This experience introduced him to diverse theatrical traditions, exposing him to European acting techniques that emphasized nuance, realism, and spontaneity. Performing in a foreign language and adapting to different performance styles broadened his perspective and solidified his commitment to storytelling as an art form. Upon returning to the U.S., Alda sought out further training, determined to refine his skills in an industry that demanded constant growth. He joined the Compass Players, one of the first improvisational theater groups in the country, which later evolved into the renowned Second City in Chicago. Improv was a challenging but essential experience for Alda. It taught him to think quickly, trust his instincts, and embrace spontaneity, skills that would later become hallmarks of his acting style. Working with other comedians and actors in a high-pressure environment helped him develop impeccable comedic timing and the ability to react naturally in any scene. In the late 1950s, Alda's career took another step forward when he received a grant from the Ford Foundation, a prestigious opportunity that allowed him to work at the Cleveland Playhouse, one of the most respected regional theaters in the country. There, he performed in multiple productions, acting alongside seasoned stage actors who challenged him to elevate his craft. He learned to inhabit roles fully, delving into character psychology and refining his stage presence. It was during this time that Alda honed his ability to blend drama and comedy seamlessly, a skill that would later define his performances in film and television. But Alda's early career wasn't just about professional growth, it was also a personal journey of self-discovery. He was still coming to terms with the challenges of his childhood, from his battle with polio to the instability caused by his mother's mental illness. Acting became more than just a career. It was a way for him to channel emotions, express vulnerability, and connect with audiences on a deeper level. Every role he took on, every performance he gave, carried traces of his personal experiences, making him not just a talented actor, but also a profoundly authentic storyteller. Despite the struggles and uncertainties of breaking into the industry, Alda never lost sight of his goal. He understood that success in acting required more than just talent. It required persistence, adaptability, and a willingness to take risks. With every stage production, radio play, and improv performance, he was laying the foundation for a career that would eventually make him one of the most beloved actors of his generation. Alan Alda's career-defining moment arrived in 1972 when he was cast as Captain Benjamin Franklin Hawkeye Pierce in the television series MASH star. Set during the Korean War, the show depicted the lives of doctors and nurses stationed at a mobile army surgical hospital, MASH. Unlike traditional war dramas that focused on battles and strategy, MASH took a different approach. It explored the human side of war, showing how medical personnel coped with the brutality of their surroundings. The series blended sharp wit, dark humor, and deep emotional storytelling, striking a chord with viewers who had just experienced the Vietnam War. From the beginning, Alda's portrayal of Hawkeye Pierce was magnetic. Hawkeye was an exceptional surgeon, but he never took authority too seriously. He was irreverent, sarcastic, and constantly challenged military bureaucracy, often clashing with superior officers. His antics, pulling pranks, making wisecracks, and drinking martinis in the swamp, his tent, were a means of resisting the senselessness of war. However, beneath the comedy, there was a profound compassion for his patients. He didn't just patch up soldiers, he cared about their lives beyond the operating table. Alda infused Hawkeye with a rare blend of humor, empathy, and defiance, making the character the emotional anchor of the show. As MASH * evolved, so did Alda's depth as an actor. While the show started with a more lighthearted, almost slapstick tone, it gradually transitioned into one of the most poignant and socially relevant series on television. Alda played a pivotal role in this shift. His performance showcased the emotional toll of war, capturing the exhaustion, grief, and moral dilemmas faced by frontline doctors. Episodes began tackling serious issues, the psychological trauma of war, the ethical complexities of saving lives in a conflict, and the bonds formed in the face of unimaginable horror. One of the most memorable moments of the series came in later seasons, when Hawkeye, who had always used humor as a defense mechanism, began to break down under the weight of his experiences. Alda's ability to transition seamlessly between comedy and deeply emotional storytelling became a defining feature of MASH star. Beyond his acting, Alda took on a greater creative role as the show progressed. He became a key writer and director, contributing to some of the series' most acclaimed episodes. His involvement allowed MASH * to explore more philosophical and character-driven narratives, adding layers of realism and emotional depth that set it apart from other sitcoms of its time. His directorial work on the show earned him 5 Emmy Awards, solidifying his reputation as not just an actor, but a gifted storyteller. However, Alda's increasing influence behind the scenes was not without challenges. Some cast members felt sidelined, believing that the show had become too centered around Hawkeye. Tensions occasionally flared as the dynamics among the ensemble shifted, leading to creative disagreements. Despite these challenges, Alda remained committed to ensuring that MASH * stayed true to its message that war, no matter how justified it may seem, always leaves behind suffering and loss. By the time MASH * aired its final episode in 1983, it had become one of the most beloved and critically acclaimed shows in television history. The finale, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, remains the most-watched television episode of all time, with over 105 million viewers tuning in. Alda's portrayal of Hawkeye Pierce, a character who had evolved from a carefree prankster to a man deeply scarred by war, left an indelible mark on pop culture. Even after the show ended, MASH *'s impact endured, thanks in no small part to Alda's contributions. His work as an actor, writer, and director helped redefine what television could achieve, proving that a comedy could also be profoundly meaningful. More than just a sitcom, MASH * became a reflection on war, humanity, and the resilience of the human spirit, and at its center stood Alan Alda, a performer whose talent and depth elevated the series into legend. As MASH * continued to grow in popularity, Alan Alda's influence on the show expanded beyond acting. He became a key creative force, shaping the series through his writing and directing. Under his guidance, the show evolved from a light-hearted sitcom into a thought-provoking commentary on war and humanity. However, these changes also led to tensions among the cast, particularly with Wayne Rogers, who played Trapper John McIntyre. Initially, Trapper and Hawkeye were intended to be equals, with their friendship serving as the heart of the show. But as MASH * progressed, Hawkeye increasingly took center stage, with more storylines revolving around him. Rogers felt that his character was being overshadowed, and although he had no personal animosity toward Alda, he was dissatisfied with the limitations placed on Trapper. After 3 seasons, Rogers decided to leave the show. Because his departure was abrupt, the character of Trapper was not given a proper farewell. When Season 4 began, Hawkeye returned from leave only to discover that Trapper had left without a chance to say goodbye, leaving both the character and the audience with a sense of unresolved loss. Rogers' exit led to the introduction of a new character, BJ Honeycutt, played by Mike Farrell. Unlike Trapper, who was always ready to join Hawkeye in his antics, BJ was more reserved and introspective. He maintained Hawkeye's sharp wit but carried a greater emotional depth, providing a different dynamic to the show. His interactions with Hawkeye were less about mischief and more about exploring the emotional and ethical complexities of war. The chemistry between Alda and Farrell worked well, allowing the series to evolve while staying true to its core themes. As Alda took on more creative control, he pushed the show toward deeper storytelling, focusing on the harsh realities of war rather than just humor. One standout episode, Preventative Medicine, tackled an ethical dilemma in which Hawkeye considered performing an unnecessary surgery to prevent a healthy soldier from returning to combat, where he would likely be killed. This storyline sparked a real-life debate between Alda and Farrell, further enriching the show's narrative. These kinds of thought-provoking discussions set MASH * apart from other sitcoms, challenging viewers to grapple with difficult moral questions. Despite behind-the-scenes conflicts and cast departures, Alda's vision and dedication helped MASH * become one of the most acclaimed television series of all time. Under his influence, the show transcended comedy to deliver a powerful message about loss, suffering, and the enduring spirit of humanity in the face of war. MASH * became more than just a television show. It was a cultural touchstone that deeply resonated with audiences during a pivotal time in American history. Premiering in 1972, the series ran during the final years of the Vietnam War, and while it was set during the Korean War, Its themes and messages clearly reflected the contemporary reality of the conflict. The show challenged the glorified image of war often seen in media, presenting it instead as chaotic, senseless, and devastating. It wasn't just about the battles fought on the front lines, but also about the emotional and psychological toll war took on those involved. At its core, MASH * was a brilliant balance of humor and heartbreak. The series used comedy as a survival mechanism, much like the characters themselves did, to cope with the horrors surrounding them. This blend of satire and sincerity allowed MASH * to stand apart from other war-related media. Rather than focusing on action and heroism, it showcased the daily struggles of the doctors and nurses who fought to save lives under impossible conditions. The show humanized soldiers and medical personnel, portraying them not as invincible warriors, but as people trying to maintain their sanity in an insane environment. One of the most defining moments in television history came on February 28, 1983, when MASH * aired its final episode, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen. The 2.5-hour finale drew an astonishing 105 million viewers, making it the most-watched television broadcast in American history at the time, a record that still stands for scripted programming. The episode encapsulated everything the series had represented over its 11-season run: the exhaustion of war, the grief of saying goodbye, and the desperate attempts to hold onto humanity in the face of chaos. It was an emotional farewell not only for the characters, but for the millions of fans who had followed their journey. Alan Alda, who played Captain Benjamin Franklin, Hawkeye Pierce, delivered one of his most powerful performances in the finale. Throughout the series, Hawkeye had been known for his quick wit and relentless defiance of authority, using humor as a shield against the horrors of war. But in the final episodes, viewers saw that shield begin to crack. The character, overwhelmed by the trauma he had witnessed, suffered a mental breakdown, an intense and heartbreaking portrayal that brought national attention to the psychological scars of war. By addressing post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD) in such a raw and unfiltered way, MASH * helped shift public perception of the long-term effects of war on veterans. Beyond its record-breaking viewership, MASH * left an enduring impact on television and storytelling. The show pioneered the use of dark comedy to explore serious themes, proving that humor and tragedy could coexist in a way that was both meaningful and thought-provoking. It set a new standard for sitcoms and dramas alike, paving the way for future shows to tackle complex, real-world issues with honesty and compassion. Alan Alda's influence on MASH *, both as an actor and as a writer and director, was instrumental in shaping its legacy. His dedication to portraying authentic human experiences ensured that the show was more than just entertainment. It was a reflection of the struggles, resilience, and moral dilemmas faced by those in war. Decades after its final episode aired, MASH * remains a beloved classic, its themes as relevant today as they were during its original run. Whether through its biting humor, its heartbreaking moments, or its fearless exploration of war's impact on the human soul, MASH * continues to resonate with new generations, solidifying its place as one of the greatest television series of all time. When MASH * came to an end in 1983, Alan Alda faced the challenge of moving beyond the character of Hawkeye Pierce, a role that had made him a household name. Instead of simply riding on the success of the show, Alda was eager to explore new creative avenues, particularly in directing and writing. He had already established himself as a writer and director during his time on MASH *, having written 19 episodes and directed 32, making him one of the most influential voices behind the series. Now, he wanted to take those skills into the world of film. One of Alda's first major post-MASH * projects was The Four Seasons, 1981, a film he not only directed but also wrote and starred in. The movie, a warm and insightful comedy drama about three middle-aged couples navigating the complexities of marriage and friendship, resonated with audiences and performed well at the box office. The film's success cemented Alda's reputation as a storyteller who could blend humor with deeper emotional and philosophical themes, a signature of his work both before and after MASH star. The Four Seasons was later adapted into a short-lived television series, further proving the film's impact. In the years following MASH *, Alda continued taking on diverse acting roles, proving he was more than just Hawkeye. He collaborated with acclaimed director Woody Allen, appearing in Crimes and Misdemeanors, 1989, where he played the egotistical television producer Lester. The performance was a stark contrast to his MASH * persona, showcasing his ability to play morally ambiguous, even unlikable characters. His work in the film was widely praised, further reinforcing his versatility as an actor. Alda spent much of the 1990s balancing film and television work with his growing passion for science and communication. He hosted the PBS series Scientific American Frontiers from 1993 to 2005, a show that introduced audiences to groundbreaking discoveries in science and technology. His natural curiosity and ability to explain complex ideas in an engaging way made him an ideal host. This experience also deepened his interest in science communication, leading to later work advocating for clearer public understanding of science. His film career continued to flourish in the 2000s, with notable roles in The Aviator 2004, where he played the corrupt Senator Owen Brewster, a political adversary to Leonardo DiCaprio's Howard Hughes. Alda's portrayal of Brewster, a politician deeply entangled with corporate interests, earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor, his first and only Oscar nomination. The role demonstrated his ability to embody layered, morally complex characters, marking a significant achievement in his career. Beyond film and television, Alda became a celebrated author. He published multiple books, including Never Have Your Dog Stuffed, and Other Things I've Learned 2005, a memoir reflecting on his life, career, and the lessons he had learned along the way. He followed this with Things I Overheard While Talking to Myself 2007, which combined personal stories with broader reflections on life and purpose. Later, his deep interest in communication led him to write If I Understood You, Would I Have This Look on My Face? 2017, a book about the importance of clear and empathetic communication, particularly in the field of science. Even as he aged, Alda never stopped working. He continued to take on guest roles in acclaimed TV series such as The West Wing, 30 Rock, and Ray Donovan, demonstrating his ability to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of television. His appearance in The West Wing as Senator Arnold Vinnick, a principled Republican running for president, was particularly well received, earning him an Emmy Award in 2006. Despite being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2015, Alda remained active in his professional and personal pursuits. He became a vocal advocate for Parkinson's research and awareness, openly discussing his diagnosis in interviews to encourage others to seek medical attention early. He continued acting, even appearing in Marriage Story 2019, alongside Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, proving that his passion for storytelling was as strong as ever. Through it all, Alan Alda has remained a beloved figure in entertainment, admired not just for his acting, but for his contributions to science communication, literature, and public discourse. His post-MASH career has been marked by a relentless curiosity, a commitment to meaningful storytelling, and an ability to reinvent himself time and time again. While many actors struggle to escape the shadow of an iconic role, Alda has spent decades proving that he is much more than just Hawkeye Pierce. He is a multifaceted artist, thinker, and communicator whose impact reaches far beyond the screen. Beyond his illustrious career, Alan Alda's personal life has been a testament to love, resilience, and advocacy. His long-standing marriage to Arlene Weiss is often cited as one of Hollywood's rare success stories. The couple first met in the 1950s when Arlene, a talented photographer and writer, crossed paths with Alda at a mutual friend's dinner party. A humorous moment involving a rum cake that accidentally fell to the floor set the stage for a lifetime of laughter and companionship. They married in 1957, and their relationship has been characterized by mutual respect, unwavering support, and a shared love of storytelling. Throughout Alda's decades in the entertainment industry, Arlene has been his rock, helping him navigate the unpredictable nature of Hollywood while keeping their home life stable and grounded. Despite his fame, Alda prioritized family, ensuring that his work never overshadowed his role as a husband and father. Together, he and Arlene raised 3 daughters, Eve, Elizabeth, and Beatrice, instilling in them the values of kindness, curiosity, and resilience. Alda frequently speaks about how his daughters kept him humble, reminding him of life's simple joys. Even during the peak of MASH*'s success, Alda made a conscious effort to shield his family from the pressures of fame. While his face was known to millions, at home, he was simply Dad. He ensured that family dinners remained sacred, and he encouraged open conversations, fostering a warm and supportive environment. He also credits Arlene for keeping him grounded, often reminding him to approach life with humor and perspective. In 2015, Alda faced one of his greatest personal challenges when he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Rather than allowing fear to consume him, He approached the diagnosis with his characteristic optimism and curiosity. Initially, he chose to keep the news private, taking time to process what it meant for his future. However, in 2018, he publicly revealed his condition during an interview on CBS This Morning. His decision to share his diagnosis was not just about transparency, it was about raising awareness and inspiring others who were also facing Parkinson's. Determined not to let the disease define him, Alda took an active approach to managing his health. He developed a rigorous exercise routine, incorporating activities like boxing, tennis, and even marching to music, which has been shown to help those with Parkinson's maintain mobility. He also continued working, demonstrating that a diagnosis does not mean the end of a fulfilling life. His resilience became a source of inspiration for many, proving that challenges could be met with humor, determination, and a proactive mindset. Beyond his personal battle with Parkinson's, Alda has used his platform to advocate for scientific literacy and better communication in medicine. His long-running involvement with science communication, particularly through the Alan Alda Center for Communicating Science at Stony Brook University, has helped scientists and medical professionals learn how to communicate complex ideas in a way that is accessible to the public. His own experience with Parkinson's only reinforced his commitment to bridging the gap between science and everyday understanding. Through all of life's triumphs and hardships, Alda has remained a deeply compassionate and introspective individual. Whether through his career, his marriage, his role as a father, or his advocacy, he has continuously demonstrated an ability to adapt, evolve, and inspire. His story is not just one of professional success, but of perseverance, love, and an unwavering commitment to making the world a little more thoughtful, humorous, and humane. Alan Alda's life is a testament to the power of storytelling and the importance of human connection. From his early struggles with polio to his groundbreaking role in MAS*H, Alda has navigated the complexities of life with grace and humor. He has not only entertained millions, but has also sparked conversations about the realities of war, mental health, and the human experience. As we reflect on Alda's contributions to entertainment and society, we are reminded of the enduring impact of storytelling. Through his work, Alda has shown us that laughter can coexist with pain, and that vulnerability can lead to deeper connections. His journey is a reminder that, despite the challenges we face, there is always room for compassion, understanding, and the transformative power of a good story. Alan Alda's legacy will continue to inspire generations to come, proving that storytelling is not just an art. It is a vital part of what it means to be human.